Yeah, good morning. Let me welcome you to my part of the world. My home, Salisbury, is under serious attack by regional forces and local forces. Right now, my eyes is burning with tear gas. They're still pumping. Let me just turn the camera. Pumping the entire village with tear gas. They're pumping the entire village with tear gas. And this is crazy. The nurse of the village, her home is just on the other side, and tear gas has been pumped right into her home. The entire village, where we have a lot of elderlies, lower part of the village is just getting tear gas. They have cleared the road and they're still pumping tear gas in the village. I just want the world to know what is happening to my community right now. You can hear the tear gas canisters still bursting non-stop. You can see the slight smoke from the tear gas canisters. They are pumping into the village from about 3. I know my area was about 5 minutes to 5, but I'm hearing it from about 3 o'clock. They went up the village and started pumping tear gas. The blockage was done on the main road right there. You see where you see the smoke? That's where you had the blockage. And they went up right the village pumping tear gas while people sleep. And that's what the community has stand up for their rights. Look, the Coast Guard is now coming across. Get to the Coast Guard. And the Coast Guard ship's coming across. They will bring more tear gas canisters for them to continue to bombard the entire village. A community that's simply asking for their rights to be respected, for no one to be disenfranchised, to be voters asking for the government, the Prime Minister, who came in by default, want to stay there forever, want to impose himself on the people of Dominica. And the people of Salisbury standing for the people of Dominica. And there are some of us that believe in it's about a Salisbury thing and the United Workers' Party. It's about Dominica right now. And we have to get it in our head. This thing has moved on beyond political parties. It's about our patriotism, our love for our country. And these guys are bombarding my community, my little slice of heaven on earth. They're bombarding it. This is the mischief that is going on. I don't understand why some people can be supporting this. It's nothing about elections and political parties anymore. It's about the sovereignty of our country. It's about our brothers and sisters being disrespected, elderlies at their homes. The oldest member of parliament I live in Salisbury, Bryson Louis. He's 94 years. He's at his home. No one can go to his home. He's partially blind, can go to his home to assist him. You know, there are other people. Mamoy. You can see that. Me telling back. You see canisters being sent next to the nurse's home. The village nurse. You can see the light smoke in the village. Tear gas canisters being sent among the people who are at their homes. You're seeing the smoke from the canister right there. And you have an elderly lady living there. You have the nurse in the area. Is that right? You unblocked the road already. Why are you doing that to a community? And anybody with a conscience can tell me you're supporting that. Anybody with a conscience can tell me you're supporting what Roosevelt Security is doing for against the people of Dominica, doing to the people of Dominica, the people of Salisbury. You have regional forces coming here to assist them, being sent by the governments, come to Dominica and say they came on peacekeeping mission and they're pumping tear gas into a community. Non-stop, unrelenting, heartless, wicked. Just pumping tear gas. See the tear canisters, you see them? You see the canisters? You see the smoke from the canisters, tear gas canisters? They continue to pump the village. You cleared the road already, you move on. Why are you doing that to my community? Why are you doing that to my people? How can we assist the elderly, the sick and shut in? And the government, Roosevelt Skerrit, the police commissioner, Daniel Carbon, Roosevelt Skerrit, Charles Savrin, Richmond Valentine, Corbett, and all the others. If anything happened to somebody in Salisbury, you will be responsible. I am warning you all. If anything happened to anybody in Salisbury, you will be responsible. Daniel Carbon, Corbett, Richmond Valentine, Roosevelt Skerrit, Charles Savre, you all will be held responsible. This is unbelievable. You see the tear gas canisters, you see them? They continue to pump the tear gas canisters. I am away from what is going on, and I'm getting tear gas right into my home. Much less for the people who are directly. You seen it? You seen that? You seen what they're doing to a community? This is right around Bryson Louis' home. Share the link, you know, just share the link for everybody. Just share the link. You see that? They're just pumping tear gas into the community. Share the link. Let the world see. Look at person right there. Let the Coast Guard is right there. You seen it? There's a jetty just at the back. There's a jetty in the Titans Naya Valley area. They bring more tear gas, backup police against a community that was asleep. You see the smoke in the community. You see the mayhem. Just because the people stand up, and the Dominicans who are supporting that. Don't you have a conscience? World leaders, Ralph Gonzalez, Kit Mitchell, Gaston Brown, Alan Chasney, those of you who send your forces to Dominica, you will be held responsible for doing that to my community. You all trying to impose Roosevelt's character on us, it will not work. You hearing? I'm sure you're all hearing what is going on. Tell Richard, move if I'm from the man, please. Share the link, you know, share that to your journalist friends around the world, lawyers. Just send it around the world. Your congressman, just send it around the world. Just send the link to them. Let the whole world see what is happening in a small community that just standing for the rights. You see the tear gas canisters, you see them? Falling in homes. And you tell me this level of wickedness, atrocity against humanity, people stand up for their right. Please do not call my phone at this time. I'm carrying the light from my phone. Please do not call my phone at this time. This is madness. Share the link. Share the link. Send it to every Dominican around the world. Dominicans around the world. Your lawyers, your congressman, your president, humanitarian organizations, peacekeepers, just send it to them. See what is happening in a community just for one man, just for Roosevelt Skerrit to remain in office. Tear gas canisters are just being sent helter skelter in a community. total mayhem in the community, and the people around Dominica supporting this, around the world supporting this. Don't we have a conscience, bro? The place in smoke. You hearing for yourself. You hear the tear gas canisters. You seen that? You seen for yourself? The dumping of loading tear gas into the community. Everybody have evacuated. Not everybody. We can't reach the elderlies. We cannot reach them. How can you support a heartless leader like Roosevelt Skerrit? Roosevelt Skerrit is not supposed to get any votes in Dominica come Friday. How can you support this man? How can you, Dominicans? This is not about party right now. You have to vote for Dominica come this election. How can you do that to people? How can you do that? How can people endorse that kind of mischief, that malice, that wickedness, atrocity against people who stand up for what they believe in, the democratic right and freedom, the right to exist peacefully? How can there be peace and with no justice? How can we stand aside and look? The international community sending my Caribbean brothers and sisters, sending policemen to Dominica to keep the peace, and they are not living the peace. They are causing more problem. Alan Chasney, do you have a conscience? Kit Mitchell, do you have a conscience? Gaston Brown, do you have a conscience? Ralph Gonzalez, do you have a conscience? We will not forgive you. We will not forgive you for doing that to my people. This is unbelievable. Because we stand, because we are asking for electoral reform. You hear people screaming in the community right now. I cannot even go. I'm helpless. We are helpless. Anybody who can contact the U.S. Embassy, the British High Commission in Barbados and Trinidad, in Jamaica, please send the link to them. Share the link. Share the link on your Facebook page, on WhatsApp. Share the link. Spread it around the world. CNN, send it everywhere. We simply ask for electoral reform. The joint mission of OAS, CARICOM and the Commonwealth simply ask Roosevelt Skerrit to clean the list and give us voter identification card. Instead of doing that, you call the elections and people standing up for their rights, and you see that tear gas canisters just launching in the village one after the other. It's raining tear gas in Salisbury. You hear people screaming. And we have no one from the government. I called the president this morning, and I raised that concern with him. I don't know what he's going to do. I called President Angelo Charles Savary this morning, and I raised it with him. I called him about 6:15. I will not call Skerrit. This is unbelievable. Isn't tear gas canisters? They're launching more and more tear gas canisters on a community. You see the smoke in the village. Tear gas. I can hear people screaming in the village. This is unbelievable. Share the link. Share the link. Everybody on the page, just share the link. Send it to your congressman, send it to your prime minister, send it to your parliamentary representative, send it to everybody. News, international news agencies, send it to them. Share the link. Hmm? I was trying to zoom the poles. Look, a few of them standing right there by this telephone pole, but I can't get it too clearly. Walking across. About 6 of them walking across right there. How can you do that to a community? One. Yeah, they're just around the car area. It'll be approaching the car, right there passing. The 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 of them walking across. And there's a whole set in the bottom of the village, right there. And most of them in the village just pumping tear gas. How can that happen? Why we allow this to get this far? We simply ask for electoral reform. We simply ask for the government to just deal with the basic recommendations made by the joint mission of the OAS, the Commonwealth, and CARICOM, who visited Dominica somewhere in August, and the government rejected the report. The government called them to come in, and they rejected the report. And because Dominicans standing asking for reform, we have been asking for reform since 2005. It was derailed by Tony Astafans, Alec Lawrence, Roosevelt Skerritt, Kwandwani Williams, and Gerald Burton from 2008. They have been derailing it. And you see that tear gas canisters just being pumped into the village. Pumped and pumped into the village. Roosevelt Skerritt last night, he willfully ignored Salisbury. He said nothing about the blockage in Salisbury, Birmingham, and Marigot. We took note of it. The entire community took note of it, Roosevelt Skerritt. You said nothing about Salisbury. You know the road was blocked. It was blocked worse than Marigot. You tried to reach Reno to come and clear it, but we warned Reno, do not get involved in our politics. They are St. Lucian Company. We respect them coming to work in Dominica, but we tell them to stay away from our politics. And you got some heavy equipment this morning to clear the road. The activity was taking place on the main road. You went into the heart of the village and bombarded everyone who was asleep. Everybody was asleep. And you bombarded everybody in their homes. The elderlies, the sick and short-ins, the asthmatic, the children, the women who are at their home, pregnant women at their homes. With no mercy, heartlessly, you're bombarding our community, Roosevelt Skerritt. You gave the command. Daniel Carbon, Lincoln Corbett, Richmond Valentine, Raymond Blackmore, Roosevelt Skerritt, Charles Salvere, and the Prime Minister of the Caribbean who sent their force to Dominica. If anything happened to my people, their blood will be on your hands. We are warning. You cannot do that to our community and expect us to play dead. Some of the police officers, people are beginning to identify them. Those from Dominica, people are beginning to identify them. And that is the message I'm getting. People are serious about it. How can you do that to community? You have families, you have children. Even in your home, you get opposition at your homes. And you deal with it amicably. Why do you have to use force? Live rounds of ammunition and tear gas. Bombarding us. The last time we got tear gas, they were expired. doing that to an entire village. I hope the prime ministers who send in their force to Dominica have conscience. I hope the police officers who give directives have conscience. I know Roosevelt Skerritt does not have a conscience. You do not want him in Salisbury. That's why he never mentioned Salisbury. But what you have done to Salisbury Skerritt, you will reap what you sow. You cannot do that to a community. How can you give commons to come to a community and bombard the entire community and expect people to play dead? Some people are making silly excuses about blocking road. We see resistance all over the world against oppressive government. That is a norm over the world. Why can't we put up resistance against a worthless, a wicked government? This is our right as citizens. We are not doing it only for Salisbury, and those of you who are against what is going on, you don't know what you're doing. During Harriet Tubman, when she assisted the slaves to escape, she said that she would have saved thousands more, but they didn't know that they were slaves. Salisbury standing up for an entire country, and you are wishing bad on the community for one man that continue to violate our rights as citizens. That has never happened. A man who became prime minister by default after the death of Pierre Charles, he became prime minister, forced himself as prime minister on January 7, 2004. He came in by default. Nobody voted for Roosevelt Skerritt as prime minister. They voted for Rosie Douglas and Pierrot. And you force yourself on the people of Dominica. 15 years later, you don't want to leave. I weep for my country, but I weep more for my people of Salisbury, who were in their homes fast asleep and were bombarded with tear gas from the wee hours of the morning. The sun is showing up right now, and they're still being bombarded by local forces and regional forces. And I want to get the message to all the Caribbean leaders who have sent the officers. They said they were on peacekeeping mission, but they're causing mayhem in my community. A hard-working community, independent people, and you're trying to destroy them for standing up against a tyrant. You're trying to destroy them for standing up against Roosevelt Skerritt. Our Caribbean leaders, you have disappointed Dominicans. Those of you as members of OECS and the members of CARICOM, you have disappointed an entire nation in the center of the archipelago. And you sit by and still sending officers. You can see the tear gas canisters still going up in the heart of the village. I weep for my country. The best thing to do right now, you're hearing the tear gas canisters, they're still shooting. You're hearing them. I just want the world to know that what is going on in Salisbury right now is as a result the people of Salisbury ask for free and fair elections. They put up resistance because the Prime Minister has failed to implement just the basic recommendations asked by the joint mission of the OAS, the Commonwealth and CARICOM, who were in Dominica in August and did the report, filed the report somewhere in October, asking for the government to at least clean the list and provide voter ID cards for the people. And the government's Roosevelt Skerrit has refused. We are hearing that they're using about $72 million to bring in people for the campaign to vote. $72 million in a tiny island. Campaign budget of the government. $72 million. For what? To buy who? To buy power? When the people do not want you? When people say they do not want you to buy power. And you have Caribbean leaders sending their soldiers to Dominica, to Salisbury. Have the community all up in smoke. I call on Dominicans with a conscience to think about what is going on in Salisbury. Think about the saying when they come for the Protestants, I didn't show up because they didn't come for me. When they come for the Muslim, you know what it says, and at the end, when they come for me, there was no one to help me because I didn't stand up. Dominicans, it's Salisbury today. Might be your community tomorrow, but our homeland is in trouble. Time to do something drastic about it. You have a few more hours to think about it. Do something for your country right now. Your children will blame you if you fail to act on their behalf. If you go in, when you go to the polling station, don't say you're staying home. Go and vote for Dominica. And the only way you can vote for Dominica is to vote this government out. Only way you can vote for Dominica today is vote this government out. And the only alternative you have now is the United Workers' Party. Vote by the SAW. Don't look for the candidates, then just vote the SAW. We need to do that en masse. We have only two parties running, one of Roosevelt Skerrit Family Party and the United Workers' Party. If there was another party, I would tell you to vote for them as well, if you would like to. But I was just telling you to just vote out this government right now. We need to vote out Skerrit. We need to vote out Skerrit. If we don't, it will get worse. Good morning. God bless. They're still selling more canisters. The place is only smoke. Pray for my people. Pray for Salisbury. Pray for Dominica. Pray that we'll have peace. And the government will understand the role to be servants and not masters. Pray that the peacekeepers who came in to do that, cause that mayhem in my community, that they have families in St. Vincent, in Barbados, in Grenada, in St. Lucia, in Antigua, and wherever they came from. And they came down to Dominica, causing mayhem for a tyrant, Roosevelt Skerrit. God bless you. I love you. God bless Dominica.